Breaking news tonight in Manhattan, Sean Combs arrested in Manhattan after grand jury indictment. I'm Eliza Orland's career public defender here in Manhattan for the last 15 years, and let's talk about what's going on with this case. Sean Combs has been under mounting scrutiny since 2023 when his ex-girlfriend Cassie accused him of sex trafficking and years of abuse in a lawsuit that she filed. He was arrested this evening at a Manhattan hotel after a grand jury indicted him. The indictment is apparently still sealed and the charges have not yet been announced. Apparently his lawyer believes that the charges are racketeering and sex trafficking. A statement from his legal team says they were disappointed with the decision to prosecute him and noted that he has been cooperative with the investigation and had voluntarily relocated to New York last week in anticipation of these charges. Damian Williams, who is the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, said in a statement posted to social media tonight, "We expect to move to unseal the indictment in the morning and we'll have more to say at that time." His lawyer said that Mr. Combs had been arrested with Homeland Security investigations at about 8:30 p.m. at the hotel where he was staying, which was the Park Hyatt on 57th Street, and he is expected to be held overnight and then arraigned Tuesday, tomorrow. The arrest of Mr. Combs, 54, makes him the highest profile figure in the music world to face criminal charges for sexual misconduct since R. Kelly, the R&B singer who, after trials in New York and Chicago, was sentenced to more than 30 years in prison for child sex crimes, sex trafficking, and racketeering. He has been under intense scrutiny since last November when his ex-girlfriend, Cassie, full name Cassandra Ventura, filed a lawsuit accusing him of years of sexual and physical abuse. He settled the suit with her and denied wrongdoing, but legal pressure mounted over the next 9 months with the filing of 5 lawsuits by different women alleging assault, sexual assault, and 3 other sexual misconduct suits, all of which Mr. Combs' lawyers are fighting in court. His legal team says that these are the acts of an innocent man with nothing to hide, and he looks forward to clearing his name in court. So just a reminder, everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty. But in March, federal agents raided Mr. Combs' homes in Los Angeles and Miami Beach, Florida, stopping him at a Miami area airport and confiscating his electronic devices. The authorities made no announcements at that time, but a federal official said the inquiry was at least in part a human trafficking investigation. Federal prosecutors in New York had by that time interviewed a number of witnesses about sexual misconduct allegations against him, according to a person familiar with the interviews. He has vehemently denied these accusations in civil suits, calling them sickening allegations from people looking for a quick payday. His lawyers have sharply criticized how the raids, which involved agents from Homeland Security investigations brandishing guns, were carried out, calling them a gross overuse of military-level force. Hard to disagree with them there. This wasn't a person who's a flight risk. Why do they need to have guns out to arrest someone? The tone of defiance shifted after CNN published hotel surveillance footage in May that showed him physically assaulting and kicking Miss Ventura in 2016. He posted an apology video to social media where he called his behavior inexcusable and said he did seek out professional help. There's a lot of talk about all of the things that he's done. A prolific producer, he's helped usher hip-hop into the mainstream, and with his record label Bad Boy Entertainment, he created a larger-than-life media persona, having celebrity-filled parties, presiding over a popular MTV reality competition show, Making the Band. In the mid-2000s, established a lucrative brand portfolio, including fashion, liquor, and a cable TV network, Revolt. For decades, he's been trailed by accusations of violence, though this time is the first time known to have faced such a sprawling investigation into his conduct over a period of years. In 2001, he was the subject of a highly publicized trial over a nightclub shooting where he was acquitted on gun and bribery charges. In recent years, he adopted a new persona, asking people to call him Love, naming his newest daughter Love, and titling his first solo studio album in 17 years, The Love Album Off the Grid, which he released independently under a new label, Love Records. Last year, he was just coming off a swirl of positive publicity tied to that album and his long career in music when Miss Ventura filed suit with detailed and disturbing allegations stretching over more than a decade. Her complaint included accusations of sex trafficking and that Mr. Combs had forced Miss Ventura to have sex with male prostitutes in front of him and instructed her to use websites and escort services to find prostitutes to participate in drug-fueled encounters he called freak-offs. He has decided to settle only Miss Ventura's lawsuit. His legal team has fought the rest in court, painting the allegations as false stories drummed up to secure settlements. In court filings, his lawyers have said that a lawsuit accusing him of participating in a gang rape in 2003 had single-handedly, irreparably damaged his reputation on the basis of rank, uncorroborated allegations. After a male music producer accused him in a lawsuit of making unwanted sexual contact with him, Mr. Combs called the plaintiff a liar whose accusations were pure fiction meant to garner headlines. Since those lawsuits were filed, much of his brand portfolio has fallen apart. He sold his share of his tequila company, as well as his stake in his television network. A school charter network ended its partnership with him. In the Me Too movement and its aftermath, prosecutors have increasingly turned to sex trafficking laws to try sexual assault accusations in the federal court system. The first conviction of Mr. Kelly was on charges of racketeering and violations of an anti-sex trafficking law known as the Mann Act. Homeland Security investigations, which often investigate sex trafficking cases, led the inquiry into Mr. Combs. The March raids were announced to the world in television news footage of agents converging on his sprawling Los Angeles mansion and carrying out electronics. The mother of one of his sons later shared footage of agents pointing guns at Justin and Christian Combs while they were being detained inside of their father's home. Since then, federal prosecutors have been silent, quietly delivering subpoenas to. It sounds like we should know more in the morning when the indictment gets unsealed, and definitely make sure you're following so that when they unseal it, I can walk you through it and we can talk about these charges, and I'll create a playlist below. So make sure you're tuned in for more.